We've all seen them. Those massive, vein-popping physiques that command attention in any room. Bodybuilders with biceps bigger than most people's thighs, strutting with a confidence that screams they could crush anyone who crosses them. But what happens when those mountains of muscle step into the cage with someone who actually knows how to fight?
There was a time where I had to grab with him, where I felt like, I can crush this guy.
Let's witness 10 defining moments when bodybuilders faced this brutal reality. But before the punches fly, subscribe to the Band-Aid Battalion, because every fight leaves a mark. Moment number 1. Bradley Martin meets Jiu-Jitsu reality. For years, bodybuilders believed extreme size guaranteed dominance, mistaking gym strength for combat power, until real fighters exposed how quickly that illusion collapses under pressure. Perhaps no one embodies this delusion better than fitness influencer Bradley Martin. At a massive 260 pounds of muscle, he's repeatedly claimed he could take on professional UFC fighters simply because of his size.
Do some bodybuilding type training with Brian today. I know that he's prepping for the World's Strongest Man.
His mantra, "Yeah, but I'm 260, has become almost a punchline in fighting circles. The moment of truth came when Bradley finally grappled with a BJJ black belt. Within seconds, his head snapped back violently. All that muscle, all that gym strength, rendered completely useless against proper technique.
That was like a good punch.
Yeah.
That was a good punch.
The look of shock on his face as he gasped for air told the entire story. Size means nothing against skill. Bradley learned what every trained fighter already knows. Those muscles built for show offer virtually no protection against someone who understands the mechanics of combat. His 260 pounds became nothing more than extra weight for his opponent to manipulate. Moment number 2. The mountain crumbles. While Bradley's humbling was instructive, perhaps no example is more visually striking than what happened to Hafthor Björnsson, the 6'9" strongman who played the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Despite his intimidating 400-plus pound frame when he grappled with BJJ world champion Gordon Ryan, the result was shocking. Even after being given the advantage of starting in top position, Thor was effortlessly reversed within seconds. The look on his face as Ryan controlled him with ease told the whole story. Strength alone means nothing against masterful technique. The man who could deadlift over 1,000 pounds couldn't budge a smaller opponent who understood leverage and positioning. Moment number 3. Mariusz Pudzianowski's oxygen crisis. While Björnsson merely dabbled in grappling, 5-time world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski actually committed to an MMA career. After winning his first 2 fights against lesser opposition, he faced former UFC champion Tim Sylvia in just his 3rd bout. The defining moment came in round 2 when Mariusz completely gassed out. His massive muscles, once his greatest asset, became his downfall as they demanded oxygen he couldn't provide. Unable to lift his arms to defend himself, the strongest man in the world tapped out to ground and pound. Pudzianowski learned what all fighters eventually understand. Cardio is king in combat. Those enormous muscles that won him strongman competitions became liabilities when they required more oxygen than his cardiovascular system could deliver. This wasn't just a loss. It was a physiological failure that exposed the fundamental incompatibility between extreme hypertrophy and fighting endurance. Moment number 4. Instagram bodybuilder's backyard lesson. While professional strongmen at least possess functional strength, many Instagram bodybuilders focus purely on aesthetics. This was the case with Bilal El Saleh, whose social media was dedicated to mocking martial artists while claiming his muscles made him unbeatable. When Belgian MMA fighter Zoo had enough, he drove 7 hours into Germany for a backyard showdown.
beat me.
You're all talk.
Show me.
You're all talk.
You are out talk. You talk a little bit.
Despite having an O-2 professional record and fighting at featherweight, far smaller than the bodybuilder, Zhu made quick work of Bilal. The moment of humility came when Bilal, gasping for air after being tapped out twice in minutes, made excuses about not having time to train. The reality was inescapable. His aesthetically focused muscles provided zero combat effectiveness against even a modestly trained fighter. If a professional fighter with a losing record could so easily dismantle a confident bodybuilder, what does that tell us about the combat value of bodybuilding? Moment number 5. Rambo Kus meets reality face first. While Bilal at least had the safety of grappling rules, fitness influencer Rambo Kus faced the harsh reality of striking when he strode confidently into a boxing gym to challenge a professional boxer. His muscular physique suggested dominance, but reality had other plans. Just 15 seconds into the sparring session, Rambo's nose exploded with blood.
Step off. Beat. Oh my God.
The look of shock in his eyes as crimson streamed down his chiseled chest said everything about the gap between looking tough and being tough. After being knocked down repeatedly, Rambo was ultimately carried out of the gym, his face a bloody mess, a vivid reminder that aesthetics don't block punches. If a bodybuilder's face can be so dramatically rearranged by a boxer who wasn't even trying to hurt him, what would happen in a real fight? Moment number 6. Bradley Martin's hotel humiliation. Returning to our friend Bradley Martin, another incident exposed the gap between muscle and fighting ability. The fitness influencer challenged a hotel security guard to an impromptu fight. Despite being similar in size, the guard, who presumably had some fighting experience, completely dominated Bradley. The humbling climax came when the guard bent Bradley over and literally spanked him in front of onlookers, treating the muscular influencer like a misbehaving child. All that gym-built intimidation factor evaporated in less than 2 minutes of actual combat. If a hotel security guard can so thoroughly embarrass one of social media's most physically impressive figures, what does that tell us about the relationship between muscles and fighting ability? Moment number 7. Romanian bodybuilder's cage collapse. While Bradley at least had the excuse of fighting in an informal setting, a tattooed Instagram model stepped willingly into Romania's RXF promotion cage, his physique seemingly carved from stone. But when the bell rang, his muscles might as well have been made of paper. Rocked by the first punch that connected, the defining moment came when his muscles tensed uselessly as he was submitted by a choke that wasn't even properly applied. Under pressure, his aesthetic development provided zero combat value, just a better-looking target. If a bodybuilder can't even defend against an improperly applied submission, what chance would he have against someone who actually knows what they're doing? Moment number 8. Will Tennyson feels the Predator's power? Though not a fight, bodybuilder Will Tennyson experienced UFC heavyweight Francis Ngannou's power firsthand in a controlled setting. After Will's punch was dismissed, Francis delivered just 10% of his power to Will's body.
1, 2. Really? Yeah, let's see. Let's see, 1, 2. Oh, when did...
The look of shock and respect that instantly washed over Will's face as he absorbed the impact was a stark visual lesson in the difference between gym strength and fighting power. No amount of aesthetic muscle building prepares you for the functional power of a trained striker. If 10% of a fighter's power can so dramatically affect a bodybuilder, what would happen if that fighter unleashed their full capability? Moment number 9. 2-minute cardio collapse. While Will Tennyson managed to stay calm after feeling Francis Ngannou's raw power, what followed was even more revealing. In a later session, Will attempted basic striking drills with Ngannou's coach. Nothing advanced, just simple combinations on the pads.
Again, go.
What happened next told the real story. After barely 2 minutes of continuous pad work, the muscular bodybuilder completely ran out of energy. His movements slowed, his breathing became heavy, and moments later he collapsed onto the mat in total exhaustion. There were no wild punches being thrown at him, no opponent pushing back, just steady, controlled drills designed to test endurance and rhythm. This moment highlights a key weakness in bodybuilding when applied to fighting. These physiques are built for short bursts of strength and visual impact, not for sustained effort under pressure. Combat demands constant movement, repeated explosions of energy, and the ability to recover while under stress. As Will lay on the floor gasping for air, the difference became impossible to ignore. Looking fit and being fight-ready are two completely different realities. If 2 minutes of basic pad work is enough to drain a bodybuilder, surviving an actual fight would be nearly impossible. Moment number 10. Logan Paul schools Bradley Martin. Perhaps the clearest example happened when Bradley Martin wrestled Logan Paul. Logan is not a professional fighter. He only has basic college wrestling experience. Yet people who watched said Logan controlled Bradley completely from the start. This moment showed the truth very clearly. Bradley weighs around 260 pounds and is extremely muscular, but once the situation turned physical, his gym strength did not help him.
That's it. Thank you. That's it. Good stuff. Bro.
Logan used simple wrestling skills like balance, positioning, and control, and Bradley had no way to stop it. What is important here is that Logan did nothing advanced. There were no complex moves or special techniques. He just used the basics he learned from wrestling, and that was enough to overpower someone much bigger. This proves the main lesson of this story. If someone with only basic wrestling training can dominate a huge bodybuilder, a professional fighter would completely overwhelm him without much effort. These moments prove muscle alone never wins real fights. Technique, conditioning, and experience do. Respect combat sports for their depth. If this surprised you, like and subscribe. Do you think size ever beats skill? Which moment shocked you most? Drop your thoughts below.